Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about list of lists, which is one of the most important concept in the M code language or in the Power Query, because most of the trickier solutions requires you to have a list of list structure. So first let us understand what is the meaning of a list of list. So for that I am already there in the Power Query interface and I am creating a blank query, and the navigation to create is new query, other sources, a blank query. Now you already know that if I have to initiate a list, I need to put the items within the curly braces, say 1 comma 2 comma 3, and what I get is a list. But this is not a list of list. This is simply a list which is having three numbers within it. But suppose if I want to have a list of list structure, what I need to do is to wrap all the items in another curly braces, and what I will get a list within a list, and this particular list is having three items within it, which is 1, 2 and 3. Suppose I can have another list within this list and say A, comma, B, comma, C. And now what I'm having is two lists within this particular list. The first list is having three numbers 1, 2 and 3, and another list is having three alphabets A, B and C. So now you know what is a list of list. We need to understand now in the Power Query where this list of list structure comes into play. So for that what I'm doing, I am importing one of the table into the Power Query user interface using the blank query. So I am bringing one of the table present into my Excel workbook, and the function for that is excel.current workbook. So let me rename the first query as a manual list of list. And the second one, what I'm showing you is bringing a table into my Power Query user interface. And now suppose if I want to extract the table, let me write some piece of M code, which I will explain you later in the navigation chapter. So what I'm writing is the name of the table, which is F sales, which will give me a record. And from this record, I will extract the content, which will give me the table. And now you see automatically the Power Query user interface has written a change data type, which I can cancel it out. And if you want to see how Power Query has written this, I can select all the columns and I can go to a transform and detect data type. So you can see the system has detected the data type of each and every column of this particular table and has written a piece of M code. Let me copy this piece of M code and explain you in a notepad. So I have already copied this piece of M code into a notepad, which will help us in understanding this because I have organized this M code properly. So if you see what it has written, table dot transform the data type of each and every column, and it is asking give me the table name. The table name is source, and then if you see it is creating a list of list structure because it is having outer curly braces, and within this you can see there are multiple other curly braces, and within these multiple curly braces it is asking give me the column name and its data type, then a comma, then give another column name and its data type, so on and so forth. So if you have to dynamically automate the data type of each and every column, we need to create a list of list structure. Now let me show you another case study where we will have to have a list of list structure. So I'm canceling this out, and suppose I want to rename my column names, say sales rep, I want to rename it as salesman, and customer as client. So now again M code or the Power Query has written a piece of M code. So let me copy it into a notepad to explain you in a better manner. So if you see, the Power Query has written table dot rename columns, and it is asking give me the column table name. The table is source, and then it is asking again. It is creating a list of this structure because it is having a outer curly braces, and within this it has multiple curly braces, which is creating a list of this structure. And within this, it is asking give me the original column name and the rename of that column. Similarly, here what we have done, sales rep, we have renamed as salesman and customer as client name. So it is creating a list of list structure. Now I am going to show you the third scenario where a list of list structure Power Query requires to automate any solution. So let me cancel it out, and suppose if my any of the columns is having a error, say suppose date and sales rep is having some errors, and I want to replace those errors with a null value. So again I will go to transform, then replace values, replace errors, and I will tell I want to replace if any errors are present in this column with a null value. Click OK. And again the Power Query has written a piece of M code. Let me copy it and bring it into the notepad, and let me organize it properly so that we can understand this piece of M code in a better manner. Now if you see again, it is writing M code that table dot replace the error values, give me the table on which you want to replace the errors. So the table name is source, and then again it is creating a list of list structure, which is where it is having outer curly braces, and within that it is having multiple another curly braces inside it. So it is asking give me the column name, and within this column if you are having an errors, with what value you want to replace those errors. I want to replace with the null values. Same thing with the sales rep column. So now you know the list of list where it comes into play in the M code, or the Power Query requires where the list of list structure. So now we need to understand, suppose manually if I will have to create a list of list structure using M code, how to do that. So again I will create a manually list of lists. Let me create a list here. So within my list there are two columns, date and say sales rep. So I am having two items in my list structure, which is date and sales rep. I want to transform this particular list. So the function to do that is list.transform. Obviously, I'm having this particular list and it is asking what transformation you want to do. I don't want to do any transformation right now. I am telling give me the list as it is. So as you know, this underscore stands for each item within this list, and each means each item. So suppose if I will have to create a list of list structure, I need to wrap this particular item into the curly braces, and what I will get, a list of list structure. And if I need to add something to this particular item, I can add say another item as new, and now in each of the list I will have two items. Like if you can see, the first item is date, and with that I have added new. Similarly, the second item in the list was sales rep, and I have added a new. So this way we can create a list of list structure using M code. Now in the coming videos, we are going to automate the change data type, renaming the columns and replacing the error values using M code through list of list. Thanks for watching.